Hello, my name is Peter. I'm the warden here at the Chiltern Open Air Museum. If you just come down from the village green to pass the Dutch barn, you'll find these two telegraph poles, and strung between them are 8 different hop varieties. The first of which is this one here called Spalt. Spalt is one of the oldest commercial varieties available and is known as a noble hop. As you can see here, the bines are climbing up the strings and will eventually make it all the way to the top there. So Spalt is used for German style lagers and has quite an earthy sort of flavour to it, sort of grassy hay notes. So that is one of the oldest varieties, a noble hop. Another noble hop here is called Hersbrucker. Again, it's used in German style lagers. Not doing quite as well as the Spalt, but it's still got a long way to go on these strings. So we grow hops mainly to be used in brewing. Hops add flavours to the beer, and they also have preservative qualities which will help the beer keep longer, and they add a certain amount of bitterness as well. The German varieties here don't hold much bitterness, so you do use quite a lot of them to bitter your beers. So you use different hops at different periods in the brewing process, depending on their qualities. So you have aroma hops and bittering hops. Bittering hops tend to have high alpha acids because you want that bitterness from them, whereas aroma hops, as the name suggests, usually have lower alpha acids but carry more flavour. You also get obviously hybrid versions as well. So moving on from the German varieties, we have Saaz here, which is a Czech variety. Again, like the German counterparts, it is used mainly in lagers, as it has that sort of lagery bitterness flavour that you're looking for. It's sort of growing quite nicely. We're waiting for the burrs to appear, which is the start of the hop cones, and the hop cones is a part of the hops we use for making beers. So when they're very small, they're called burrs, and then they'll develop into a flower. But it's not a flower, it's called a cone, even though it's not a cone, but it looks like a cone, hence why they're called hop cones. So that will be growing up there nicely. So moving back to our shores, we have the English varieties. So this is known as Whitbread Goldings, or WGV, Whitbread Goldings variety, and it has been developed from the Goldings hop to be a bit more disease resistant and also to have a slightly sweeter flavour. So that is an English variety. You'd use that in sort of bitters and British style beers, pale ales, stouts, porters, that sort of thing. So moving on from Goldings, we have Fuggle, which was named after Richard Fuggle, the man who developed the variety. Again, like the Whitbread Goldings, mainly used in English style beers, bitters, pale ales and the whatnot. This is in fact the oldest hop here at the museum. We planted this 2 years before the other hops, and is the parent of the following hops we're going to look at. So moving on from Fuggle, we have Cascade. Now Cascade is a development of Fuggles and a Russian variety, and has quite a lot of pronounced citrus flavours. It usually has higher alpha acid content as well, so it tends to be more bitter, more citrusy, and is suited to American style beers, the sort of hoppy pale ales that you might be familiar with. So that is a development from Fuggle. And following on from that, Cashmere is a development of Cascade. Cashmere has sort of lemon lime notes, perhaps a bit of melon in there as well, and is probably my favourite variety along this line. It's a very tasty hop. So hopefully that will spring up. It's not looking a bit sad at the moment, but hopefully that will come to life. It's very early in the season yet. We don't tend to pick hops until sort of August, September time, so got a few months yet before these are fully developed. So everything we've seen before is used in brewing and making of beer, whereas the final variety here we have Tea Maker is actually used, as the name suggests, for making tea. It's not being bred at all for brewing, although it's not saying you can't use it, but I don't believe anyone has ever used it for brewing yet. The reason is it has very low alpha acids. In fact, it virtually has none. So it has no bitterness at all and is used, as the name suggests, to make tea. You just infuse it with hot water, the cones, and it makes quite a nice drink. It's also used for animal fodder as well, and has antimicrobial properties. So that's a very interesting variety, and just shows that hops aren't just for making beer. The eventual aim is to turn these hops into beer. So we have German varieties to make a German style lager, a Czech style lager, whatever English variety we want, a porter, a stout, a bitter or a pale ale, some hoppy pale ales of the American variety, and just a good old fashioned cup of tea with a tea maker here.